Oh, we're into the game. Okay.
That wasn't that long of a pause. Just figuring out a couple of things. I don't believe we even made a new lobby. I think we just all reconnected back in. Any of these facets jumping out at you? Not really, right?
The one for Lion can be changed, but he's going to be playing the Mana Drain, which does deal damage. There is also the Fist one, where you become another core, which I'm a big fan of, but this time around, it's going to be more points into that Mana Drain early. And also, I mean, it's overall a better facet. The other one is a bit risky one, but it can also look better. Like, I'm a little surprised, considering it's Eki, the guy who loves to go super greedy, that he didn't pick it up.
Maybe he knows in this situation, game 3, you can't exactly get away with that. Tree thrown over on Eki, and he'll take some damage. Nothing too crazy. 3 runes there for the side of Talon. And yeah, it's definitely eyes on Makoto coming into game number 3. Stormstormer going to need a better performance out of the mid. Not that he played poorly at all in that last game. I feel like there were many moments where he made things happen to even keep his team going in game number 2. But it did all start at the lane. And I've mentioned this to nauseum already.
Yeah, it's just a very difficult matchup.
Yeah.
This is basically top 50 Immortal playing against Ancient 3 in terms of matchup with the heroes. So quite difficult one to win.
That's really tough. So we'll have to keep an eye there and see kind of when Makoto gets off the mark. You know, something we criticized Makoto for in game number 2 was his lack
I did
of
not
rotation.
criticize. Don't put me in we.
Somebody on the broadcast
Said, okay,
not
that was not me.
That may not have been, I don't think it was me either, but we talked about he wasn't rotating early enough when they went for the Wisdom Rune. He could have TP'd over and gotten a couple of kills there, and maybe we see that. Maybe we see a little bit different this time around. But he did go to the early
helped
boots of
out,
travel.
but preferred to play his own game, getting his bottle refilled twice. Then he goes to the mid lane, gets it refilled one more time. And in terms of CS, Stormstormer doing slightly better than what happened in game number 2 in the same matchup.
Definitely
keeping up
needs
with
that.
Lina.
As long as he can keep up with Lina, I think he's, I mean, obviously he's in a much better spot. But we'll see what he can do from there, because even with the fact that he got his CS doubled, he had a lot of impact early on, moving over to the top lane and especially crossing over for that Wisdom Rune. So I'm interested to see what Stormstormer will do.
Never mind,
And
we're back at it again.
Yeah, already getting pushed out. He's not leaving the lane just yet, but you can feel the damage of that Dragon Slave from Makoto going 2-0-1. It's a nuisance. It's really tough, and Makoto is just going to be able to dominate the lane with these spells and how much damage it does early on. He's going to be playing the Shadow Shaman this time, and that was what I said during the draft, if they were going to swap the supports. And they did. They swapped the Shadow Shaman away from Cuckoo.
Cuckoo is bugging a player. When he was playing against Tundra, remember all the camp blocking that he did, very annoying. So this time around, I want to see some extra bit of a scaling from position 4 Shadow Shaman. I would love to see a Blink Dagger that I don't think he even had in the previous game. He opted to go for position 5 items, which was the right choice. But yeah, I want to see some extra scaling, maybe a BKB Blink Dagger. This is the old school Kaka build back in the days when he was playing. Did he officially retire, or did he just disappear from the scene?
I don't think anybody ever officially retires. And even when... You know what's more convincing is when they don't say they retired and they just leave. Because when any player says, I retire... You know they're sure as hell going to be back in a tournament 5 months later.
I remember Fade's retirement. He retired for 2 days.
2 days,
to get out of the contract and then came back.
You're right. It was after like Epicenter. He retired. He was like, I think I'm done with Dota, guys. 3 days later,
surprise!
I'm back, baby. Yeah, I think just retiring silently is more of a tell.
That's what people do in the economy as well nowadays. They retire, then they figure out, oh, well, you know what? We don't have enough money. Guess who's back?
I guess he's back.
67-old grandpa is back at working.
They do that with bankruptcy, too. They go, oh, I'm bankrupt, out of money, boys. Look who's rich. And they get all that money back. They play the system. Or Spike from Eki, not really doing that much. Threw Cuckoo up into the air, though. That's exciting. Already 1,000 net worth lead, and you can see it's not quite double at the moment here for Makoto, but it's getting there. And, Hex.
Just kidding.
Just kidding, yeah. Fake hype, fake hype. Saneko comes over to try and put some punishment onto the Shadow Shaman. This has left the off lane of the Timber by himself. And honestly, I mean, Timber's a tanky hero. At some point, you could just run. You don't really need to be there, right?
Yeah, he's definitely fine.
Saneko?
And Soneko's not fine. That's going to be first blood.
Blood grenade and a kill for Jokam. Oh, well, I think WS really wanted that first blood, but the blood grenade tick is what gets it. Definitely meant to do that.
Sorry, but not sorry.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, I got first blood.
Oh,
Whatever.
no. What am I going to do with all this gold?
Boots for me. And you can tell by Makoto's positioning, he's just able to dominate the lane. And again, it goes back to what I talked about with the difference in hero playstyle, right? Between him playing the Tiny and the Lina. Where he is able to play lane dominator like Lina.
Yeah, for sure. Tiny as a carry is also a bit of a weird one. It's not like real carry. We're not talking about Dragon Knight.
Yeah.
But also this matchup does... Tiny's fine in this like carry-to-carry matchup because he can build into Silver Edge later on if necessary, and also his innate ability, Dragon Knight withholds all of his attack speed, so you're receiving less damage. Makoto.
Yeah, he's going to get this kill. Oh. I lied.
Is that a miss, or did he pop a magic wand? Because he just got on the hill.
Yeah, he was close. I think it hit. It just wasn't enough. Yeah, the wand's on cooldown, so it was definitely the wand. Good catch. Tried to get that first kill with the Laguna Blade. And you're talking about the Tiny, you know, don't... Oh. Nah. All right. I can't do math. I initially was like, is that enough? No. Blood Grenade's not going to be enough there. But going back to your point about the Tiny, Lina's really the one that's going to be carrying this game, right?
Yeah, they have a lot of, like, they have pure damage, they have insane amount of burst damage, so compared to Avulus, who wants to play, again, longer team fights, so I think this also benefits Talon, because the way the fights work, you jump in one guy, and there's also no save whatsoever on Avulus, so the hero that they jump is gonna die.
Yeah. How do you... I mean, if they want to play the longer fights, though...
Same as in the previous game.
It's
exactly
so
how
tough,
they play.
Right? But you want to play it against the saves of Shadow Shaman and Pugna? Like, your execution has to be perfect.
There's also fine with resetting. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because Talon, Tiny goes in, gets his spells on cooldown, resets for 10 seconds, comes back in. Timbersaw is doing the same thing on a lower cooldown, and Lina at the later stages of the game has like 20-second cooldown on her Laguna Blade.
So you're going to be fine with the long fights on Talon, too.
Yeah, they're fine with fast fights, and they're fine with longer fights.
They're just fine fighting. Laguna Blade is available. TP attempt from Storm. Oh.
Caught him in mid-dive.
Smiling Knight, he's tossed up and killed. Aki's dead, too. Where'd they go?
They just disappeared. That's the burst damage I was talking about. Our observer was fast catching that one.
Well done. You were just talking about it. You were foreshadowing pretty well. Stormstormer going to try and get a kill onto the Shadow Shaman, but now, well, he had the Shackle. The Lina comes back, and you can't commit to getting this Shadow Shaman. And it's another time where Makoto just dominates mid, and he's not doubling the net worth, but he's getting there.
And he's also the one controlling the runes. With the supports, of course.
Yeah.
He's the one picking them up, had amplified damage, now has a shield rune, so you're definitely not going to kill Lina with the shield rune.
And that's because you don't have to take care of this Timber, right?
Yeah, Timber's completely fine.
Yeah.
The Dragon Knight doesn't have enough damage. Oh no, not again. Natsumi's coming through the gate.
The double chakrams early. The Dragon Tail not going to matter. Avalanche toss. Natsumi's got the kill. And it's 5-0 and a 4,000 net worth lead at 9 minutes into the game. I mean, this is just absurd. They've got all the gold in the world. They've got so much gold that, I mean, they might be typing in !ticket to buy tickets to the LAN here in Belgrade, Serbia. The first Tier 1 LAN of 2025. So get your tickets. Join us on the playground. Continue to watch some amazing Dota. That's a wall down.
Oh, he juked him.
What?
He juked him with the cluster cluck.
He's all right. Now he's dead, and
he's
they got
dead.
WS.
He's dead.
But I need a replay.
No
that was a
fingers.
great juke.
No finger stack for him.
Oh no.
At least they got 2 kills on the board, but it's still 3K gold lead. Eki thought he found the real one.
He didn't. He did not. And that's the unfortunate thing. And it's one of the things I don't find fair.
That Shadow Shaman has that ability?
No, that finger's on such a long cooldown, but Laguna Blade feels like you use it.
Oh, yeah.
You're like,
also mana cost as well.
yeah. Hex, Earth Spike, Shackle for a second. Hex thrown back from the Lion. They're going to continue to go. Makoto not afraid. LSA toss into the air, and that's a 3-pointer for Natsumi from a distance.
I love that Natsumi's being active. He's not, farming with the Tiny. His items, he rotated twice through the gates, now rotating to the mid lane, staying on top of the network. This is what Carry Tiny is all about. Being very active, has Echo Saber. He's going to go back for a Blink Dagger. And
Why not?
interestingly enough, he only has 1 point in tree grab, so still playing that kind of a mid-tiny. This is his farming tool with the Echo Saber, gives him mana regen so he can use his abilities and still stay on top of the network with it. Eki, level 7.
Kind of almost showing that he wants to be involved, right? If
Yeah.
you're not taking the levels of the tree grab. They did have level 7 on the Lion. Shadow Shaman not even level 6 yet. I didn't see it, but did Avulus swipe the opponent's Wisdom Rune? I would assume, experience-wise, that's probably what happened. No,
I think
it didn't. It's 1-1.
Because he was more like he was leaving XP to WS while he was
True.
making rotation to the mid
Yeah.
lane. Didn't get
Right.
the kill, so he didn't get too much XP out of that one.
Kaya soon for the Timber Cell. Smoke from Avulus as Jokam just sitting here mid. He got to his level 6. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, an Icarus dive, but a Cluster Cluck. Eki, which one is it this time? It's the one that's too far away from your Earth Spike. They'll go to the Hex, the Laguna Blade used, Supernova, but the right click's there to get the kill on Eki. They'll end up losing Cuckoo. Stormer is going to get a Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains onto the Shadow Shaman. The Light Strike Array misses, but they go to the Avalanche toss, and now Stormer forced to Remnant away. Picks up that Invis and refills his bottle. That time around, not having Tiny quick enough.
Yeah, Shadow Shaman is really difficult to kill with Cluster Cluck, especially with the potentially Pugna being behind him, using the Cripify, using Life Drain on him. So 2 supports complementing each other nicely.
Man, Natsumi's got so much farm. And like you said, he's not just sticking bottom to farm the entire time. Hex, Ether Shock, even Serpent Wards committed to this. No Laguna Blade. That's why you need to get those Serpent Wards out there for the extra damage. And that will be Makoto getting another kill. He's on a killing spree. 13 minutes in, 8-3 in favor of Talon, but the net worth lead is concerning.
Yeah, I also like the fact that they didn't pick traditional carry playing against the Darkseer, so the illusion that you get from the wall, like what are you getting from Tiny's illusion or Lina or Timber? So absolutely nothing. They don't care about it.
Makes a lot of that kit for Darkseer just not feel nearly as good. And he's more so just going to be this aura regen guy. Especially when you really don't care about that wall. Eki and Seneko smoked up, so is Stormer. Searching. Might find Cuckoo. Makoto's in a good spot. He's starting to
low on
TP
mana,
out. But yeah, like you said, doesn't have a lot of mana. They don't get the Searing Chains, but the Remnant over. Now, Jibe going to chase Cuckoo, who is a level 6. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, Nether Blast, and now a Life Drain with Seeds of Serenity, but eventually the Vacuum will stop that. and they should be able to get this kill, and will. So Stormstormer getting that kill into Cuckoo. They do not get Makoto, who is wise enough to TP out. Blink Dagger picked up for Natsumi, and now you've got that initiator, and not just the Lina and the Shadow Shaman with the Hex, but the Blink Avalanche Toss.
You have the real initiator now.
Yes.
They're ready to go. In terms of tower damage, if Dragonite is not here, they don't really have it.
They're gonna get this tower? No, not yet. Avalanche on a 2, toss up in the air. They've got the Hex, it's onto the Ember Spirit, and now they'll get the kill with the Laguna Blade. They don't even get the tower. Makoto now dominating. WS comes over, and both heroes die.
They did not expect them to defend this tower. You could see that 3 of them were kind of stacking, getting 2-man Avalanche, 2-man Toss, and this is also going to be tower in the bottom lane for Natsumi, so going to skyrocket his net worth even more. Staying ahead of Dragonite by almost 1,500 gold, which is pretty impressive.
Sheesh. Really just accelerating on the farm, and so is Makoto. This is the Talon that we kind of saw early on as well.
Yeah, and we expected.
Yes.
They had this one bad game in the first one where they got overrun by Avulus, but managed to punch back strong in the second game, and in this third game, it's all Talon. All the rotations that were made early on, especially from Natsumi through the Twin Gates.
It's a big positive when you understand what your hero is able to accomplish and not being afraid to make that rotation. Breaking the mold of the Tiny and her Spike Dragon Tail, everything there to get the kill into Cuckoo. They'll also get the 20 extra gold taken to the Nether Ward. And you said they needed this Dragonite to have the tower damage. They'll start to hit away at mid, but need these creeps to commit. Finally get the catapult to clear the wave, and this should be a tower. Nobody rotating over here for the side of Talon just yet. They do glyph, but it's not going to matter in the long run.
Talon knew exactly what was going to happen. They drew on a minimap, so Cuckoo tanking that gank. Tiny going into BKB, what it seems to be as his next item. Avulus is still in this game, they just need slightly more items. They need their Dragonite to get the third item right now. It's Armlet plus Mask of Madness. These are his farming items. A lot of damage as well, but definitely wants to have BKB available. They want to have another Aura on Darkseer, and Ember Spirit get another item. You can see Makoto, again, very fast timing on that Aghanim Scepter with the Boots of Travel, looking for a solo kill on the other side of the map.
Very quick Aghanim Scepter. We'll see what Avulus can do to kind of... Because they did do it in game number 2, right? Like, they were down 11,000. Yeah. They did bring it back. But again, it feels like another one of those situations where even if you do that, the team fight's still going to be there. The damage is still going to be there for the side of Talon to bring that net worth back up again. Unless they really shut them down this time and win multiple fights, it just seems so unlikely at this moment. Obviously, we'll see. Maybe the next items or so are enough to push them over the line, but they are working on a big deficit at the moment. You can see the deficit between mid is about 3,000 gold. Just trying to find an answer.
Pipe is going to be the big timing.
Yeah.
Once Jibei finishes that one, most of the damage on their side is magical, except some of the pure damage, but they don't really have that right-click damage on their side. WS needs slightly more gold to finish off his Aghanim Scepter. He's courier dead, but he does have all components, so can run to the side shop or secret shop and buy it. Natsumi, basically a solo kill.
Yeah. Killing spree for Natsumi as he continues to sit top of the net worth. They've got the Ags now for the Timbersaw and the Lina. I believe Phylactery for Natsumi in a moment. It's so much quick pumped damage, and they'll use the Serpent Wards to force a rotation. The wall is down, and these heroes will rotate. Jokam bringing him on a mission as Cuckoo just TPs out in the face of Stormstormer. They cluster clocked, and Jokam, well, he's making their life a little bit more difficult. He'll die in the end, but brings him on a trip while the Serpent Wards
kill
take the tower.
Yeah, these are pretty big moves. These are tier 2 towers we're talking about, so they could take the outpost, exactly what WS is doing right now.
They'll take the outpost, Avalanche coming through. They'll have Eki pretty much dead to rights. Makoto on a mega kill streak. And Stormer tries to react, but there isn't much he can do about that either. All Talon so far, 19 minutes in. And we're soon to get to that 20-minute mark. And with the way that they're playing, with the outposts taken and the aggression they're playing across the river, I wouldn't be surprised to see Talon even try to swipe that Wisdom Rune, if not also go for that opponent Tormentor.
They definitely could. I also want to see how far Dragonite is from his BKB, because he's been farming up nicely in the last couple of minutes.
We haven't really felt his presence.
No, not yet.
But is it even enough? Drums, Hex, Shackle, and Natsumi's here. Avalanche Toss not even needed, but they've got the Laguna, they'll get the kill. There's so much going right for Talon, and Cuckoo's just leading them into a trap.
Look at this burst.
WS is here, but the Supernova committed. This will pop, but I don't know if it'll matter. The LSA is on point. Wow, great timing by Makoto. Natsumi gets the kill, but that was perfect.
Frame perfect. Before he gets stunned, uses LSA. And WS camping the high ground, then jumping in, forcing Supernova to be used.
Everything just running on all cylinders. Avulus will get their Tormentor, and I feel like they're almost in a situation where they have to go for it immediately or it's going to be taken. So they get it, but they won't stick around completely for the Wisdom Rune. They lose their mid-tier 2 as well. Dragonite showing, but Blink, Avalanche, Remnant to avoid the Tiny. But now they've got the Hex, the Serpent Wards. There is no Supernova. Seneko, though, he's A-okay. Icarus Dive, Life Drain, keeping Joakim alive, but the go to the finger, the Cluster Clock, he'll die this time. The Hex on a Cuckoo, the Mana Drain, the Blood Grenade, Life Draining Jibbe, but the Earth Spike again will stop that. Bull supports are dead on the side of Talon, and maybe a moment for Avulus to go for more. They're going to Remnant and look for WS, but he's not an easy kill to get. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains gets the control. Smiling Knight's coming over, turns into the Elder Dragon form, and a TP out from WS away from the Dragon Tail will get him away from the side of Avulus.
Slightly too aggressive for my taste. Talon, Joakim using Serpent Wards in the enemy base immediately, trying to get some kind of a reaction, but the rest of the team not ready to back him up, so trading 2 supports, and now they want to kill their own Tormentor.
Gonna do it pretty quickly. Shackling the Tormentor. Not that it's going anywhere, but it would be pretty crazy if the Torm could move on the map somewhere.
Here we go. You kept it in yourself for way too long. Now the idea has to, yeah, it's been 4 days.
Bad suggestions with B-Cop. Tormentor changes positions on the map.
I've heard the number ones, to be honest.
Yeah, they were from me.
This one was pretty good. If you could hook the Tormentor to your fountain,
then it just kills you because it's getting hit by the fountain. I don't know. I like the Tormentor to new locations. Putting you in a more vulnerable spot to try and get Aghanim Shard, because it is kind of towards your own base. You're in a pretty safe spot usually. That being said, both Tormentors were taken by both teams. So they've got the Shard extra. Shard also here on Makoto. He's got the Ags to go with that. He's got a BKB flying out. Top of the net worth. Slowly but surely, though, Smiling Knight is getting towards the top of the net worth as this DK, something we didn't see in the last game for him as the Monkey King in the game number 2. They find Stormer, though. Makoto's going to get credit for that one. He's wicked sick. Might go beyond godlike again in this series.
Seems to be Roche time for Talon. Going through the gates. They can outpush the bottom lane. They do have Serpent Wards if needed.
We'll see.
They'll see how the damage is going to go through. Yeah. Yep, we'll drop it. Scan connects from Dire, so they know exactly what they're doing. Let's see if they decide to take the fight. 15 seconds without Ember Spirit. It's going to be a slower one. And they also really don't have tier 1 tower in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
Cuckoo already in a good spot.
Actually, just keeping Makoto in the pit. Having the Chakram sitting on Roche Aegis picked up by Makoto, and Avulus are staying here. And Stormstormer is going to TP top to potentially come through the Twin Gate if they do, in fact, choose to fight this. He's staying in the top lane and will even show himself. But WS goes in on a Smiling Knight. They've got the Earth Spike for the stun. Twisted Chakram not going to land on anyone. And they'll retreat from the fight successfully. There is an amplified damage sitting top. And Natsumi going into the BKB after this phylactery. And almost has it.
He's pinging. He's thinking that there's going to be Ember Spirit trying to push that wave. Needs +1.
He'll even scan, and it's not going to connect, so it won't show that Stormstormer is in the vicinity. E-Blade next on the list here for the Lina, and on the kill list is going to be the Lion. It'll be WS who gets credit for that. Jibbe going to be forced to run, even pops that pipe. But that's not enough to save this Lion, who's dead for 30 seconds, and the rest of the team, again, just retreated.
We still haven't seen Avulus take a full 5-on-5, because Dragonite was always in recovery mode, trying to farm up as much as he can. He's getting there, as you said, sitting in 3rd on the net worth right now.
But it's just Makoto, like last game, ahead by quite a bit.
Another same item build from Stormstormer, going for SNY. That status resistance could be helpful.
Well, Avalanche LSA and then the Laguna Blade, easy kill. Early Dust, they're trying to get a kill onto the Shadow Shaman. Is anybody going to rotate to help this out? Cluster Cluck won't matter again, and WS will not commit to trying to get this.
Dragonite is going for Nullifier, so he wants to be able to remove these 2 Glimmer Capes. Great against the Timbersaw Aghanim Scepter. Not the item that you usually see. Also Decrepify, so wants to have something to jump the target and kill it instantly.
They'll start to invade the triangle, maybe find Smiling Knight, who is showing bottom. But he'll back off, so get out of sight, get out of mind. And then back towards top, they are just going back and forth, up and down the map, and finding heroes to get. Avalanche comes through, toss up into the air, and this Phoenix is in trouble. Icarus dive away, but Seneko will Sunray off the map and will get away.
Apparently, Chakram is not big enough to follow Phoenix in his adventures. Also, this is the shortest blink in history. As soon as he saw Phoenix, he just blinked on top of him, and he was already on top of him.
You gotta make sure you're right there, right on top. Just like when paper covers rock, gotta be right on top. We'll find Seneko again. You can't Sunray and TP out of this, but you may have some help from the rest of your team. That might be enough to get this kill into WS. He's in too far and alone. They also find themselves the Shadow Shaman, the Cluster Cluck, and the Glimmer Cape. He gets some distance away from the team with the BKB being popped by Smiling Knight, but the Remnant over from Stormstormer. And that's 2 heroes dead as Talon find themselves a little bit too split.
Talon stopped to play aggressively. We haven't seen them go for these moves that they've been doing for the first good 20-22 minutes.
Yeah.
Laguna Blade has not been used in quite some time now.
And by quite some time, it feels like you mean like minute and a half, 2 minutes?
No, it's been a while.
It's such a short cooldown. It's a little surprising. But he's also looking to get this E-Blade. Not terribly far away from it. But me and not terribly far is synonymous with being 3,000 gold away from an item. So you can never trust when I say that. As long as you need one component, you're not too far away from getting an item.
Unless it's Shiva's Guard. Right.
And the rest.
Yeah.
Then I'm smart enough on that one. Other items I haven't really caught on just yet. Jibbe going to pick up this Wisdom Rune. He gets that level 15 talent. The Iron Shell provides 250 max health. And Smiling Knight, who is caught. Avalanche, Toss, Chakram, Shackles, all there to get the kill on a Smiling Knight, who just picked up that level 20 talent. Is going to die. Tiny now wanting to go into the Conda. Makoto, not afraid of using this Flame Cloak and hitting that tier 3 for just a moment.
It's a good time to push the high ground with the snakes. They also have some blast damage. Lanes, they're cutting all the lanes. So the lanes are going to push in.
Serpent Ward's committed. Eki, though, you step up to try and kill the Serpent Wards, and you're just going to die. godlike here from Makoto. They'll even glyph, but the Serpent Wards will stand. And now this becomes an issue of your buildings. They'll find Seneko trying to cut the creep wave. He doesn't get any of the creeps.
Natsumi was so ready for that one.
Yeah. And now they'll have the extra creep wave coming in. Backdoor was up. Well, WS, no, you're cutting the creep wave. I was going to say, there is still a tier 2 in that bottom lane.
Again, Natsumi's just hunting them down.
Yeah, they're trying to get anything they can while giving up their tier 3. But Stormstormer
didn't have enough mana.
Yeah, trying to get the tower. It ends up being denied.
Didn't have enough mana because of the neutral item. It is a cast range neutral item, tier 2. Eye of the Vizier, but you're losing some of the intelligence.
I'm not sure if that...
That's chat listening to us, having Eye of the Vizier, losing intelligence.
I'm glad you put a we in that.
Yeah.
Now we know what it really is.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah. No, it's me. It's me. I can't even lie or front on that. It's me. You know, if the Tormentor just moved into different spots.
Yeah, that was great. I lost some of the int as well.
Okay. Avalanche coming in, as well as the toss, but they're going to go to the Supernova. They get the Konaki. They're going to look over at Stormstormer with the Laguna Blade being used and the Dragon Slave thrown onto the Ember Spirit. Supernova pops. Spirit Missile on Natsumi pops the BKB. They're going to have WS going into Stormstormer. They'll look over at Jibe. This should be a third. They bump back on Eki, but what can he do? Natsumi looking to close the gap. Avalanche throw not going to land on anybody, but WS has Blink in 2 seconds. Might be able to catch up. They've got the Lina there, but there's the Blink into the Whirling Death. They've got the Chakra. Makoto getting low. He's not going to die with the Life Drain being put from Kuku on a Makoto. They'll take out Smiling Knight, who doesn't have buyback for 70 seconds. And now they're getting a kill into Eki. He's dead a second time. And this game is looking real bad.
That was the die, Becky. Yeah, this game looks completely over. 18,000 lead. They're just cleaning them up. They don't have that burst damage, something that they've been lacking. Soneko trying to go for the same thing one more time. It's just not happening.
Toss.
And Natsumi's hunting him again.
Not quite enough. There goes that tier 3 tower, and the top set of racks are in trouble. Blink Dagger for Shadow Shaman flying out, but I don't even know if he'll need it at this point. They might just stay the high ground. That being said, there's not a lot of mana available on Kuku and Makoto. And even Natsumi, so you take the racks, you back up, you refresh and go. Especially with Rosha potentially in 15 seconds. Seneko, again, trying to cut the creeps or do something.
They have one more fight in the tank. They have no buybacks whatsoever. Right now there's only one buyback. Never mind. He bought out on a BKB, so they want to be able to close it out. Roshan's going to respawn in 10 seconds. Jocam, well, scout things out. Going to be on Radiant side 100%, so time to get that Roche and time to push the high ground one last time. 21,000 net worth lead. Again, not having the burst damage, unable to, we haven't really seen Dragonite deal damage most of the game. He's been farming. Yeah. I would like to see damage coming out from the Dragonite. Let's see. Only 10,000 right now.
This could be it if they go down towards bottom and help out. Eki already half health, though. That's one Laguna Blade away from dying. They'll set up here on Talon. Natsumi in the trees. WS nearby.
Nemesis Curse, Kanda.
That's a lot of damage quick. Stormstormer coming through, Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. Avalanche lands on a Stormstormer, but they'll use the Cluster Cluck to help him out with the Searing Chains. They've got the stun, they'll have the Hex, they'll go to the finger, they're trying to get the kill into WS, but it's not going to be enough just yet. He's low, though. Finally, he falls. Good damage onto the Timbersaw, and they're going to look for more. This could lead to Roche if they can take the fight well enough. They don't have this Timbersaw for 70 seconds. He doesn't have buyback, but there's the LSA. They go to the Hex on this Shadow Shaman, take out Eki. It was a self-Hex to run away, but now Kuku, he gets some distance. Makoto going in with the BKB. He looks over at Seneko. Smiling Knight trying to run away from Natsumi. E-Blade's going to be thrown over on a Smiling Knight. They go to the Laguna Blade. They've got the toss up into the air. They'll get the kill onto the Dragon Knight. As they'll look over, the Avalanche lands. There's the vacuum over, but Jibe, he's all alone and doesn't really have a lot of help with Stormstormer starting to retreat. They've got the triple kill on Natsumi. They'll look over, they get the Hex there onto Stormstormer. That's another kill. If they can just touch him one more time, the Avalanche
close.
Not in range, and it's just 4 kills for Talon.
You can see that Talon are holding onto their BKBs for such a long time because they take out Lion as a first target and they don't have to care about, because there is Cluster Cluck, there is Pugna still being alive, so they can take care of each other. Roshan is available, but they don't seem to be killing it yet.
Yeah, they lost Makoto in that fight. He's dead for 60 more seconds. Definitely a big part of taking that road.
The way this fight started was Stormstormer getting in and seeing that there is a Netherward placed already, so he blindly uses slight chains on 2 targets, finds them into the trees, but they cannot fight for this second Roche. Makoto.
Yeah, it was the chains and then the cluster cluck, which helped him with the searing chains anyway. So it's just you don't have the continued control there. And you realize that Natsumi also upgraded that Echo Saber into the Harpoon, and I think the scariest thing is being thrown into a mountain.
4,000 HP right now.
Yeah.
With Kanda, double hit. Stormstormer, he does have gem of his own. Wants to be able to jump the back lines, find the targets, try to kill Cuckoo and Jokam before they can get anything done. But he also needs Lion to jump the same target.
Yeah, they got to be on point with that, especially once they see the Cluster Cluck. If he can get the Earth Spike after the Dispel, maybe they can get something going, but it's just so tough for them. It has to be so perfect. Otherwise, you're dealing with what we talked about, the fact that, honestly, they're willing to go back and forth.
They know where they are.
Fights.
This scan is still connecting.
Smiling Knight.
Bob's
got
placed
BKB,
down.
but there's the Hex into the Shackles. They go and just blow up Smiling Knight and Eki. They were there, you blinked, and then they were gone.
And they have no buybacks.
No.
400 gold short, so this is going to be another side. Dragon Knight gone for 65 seconds. They can just close out the game. It's hard to tell whether he does or does not have a buyback, but this is the elimination game, so they're going to get mega creeps.
Yeah, might as well hold the line and just go for megas. You have quick building damage with the Pugna, with the Lina, and honestly with the Tiny too. Everybody here is really adding on. And it's mega creeps, so Avulus down 25,000 net worth. They got to try and come back, but they're going to need Smiling Knight to do so. He's dead for another 37 seconds. Blink over from Jokam onto the Phoenix. They'll go to the Shackle. Is there a follow-up? There's an E-Blade, but a wall and a vacuum on a 3, but no Smiling Knight to follow this up. They go to the Dust. They've got the finger. It's going to be onto the Shadow Shaman. They're trying to get the kill, but there is Cuckoo with a life drain. So Jokam's going to be alive for a little bit longer, but the Searing Chains, the Cluster Cluck, not enough. They'll lose the Shadow Shaman. They look at WS. Sleight of Fist once again. Seneko and Stormstormer not sure they want to chase with the creeps coming into the base, and no Smiling Knight for 5 seconds.
Yeah, losing Jokam there, but they're still going to be holding the Aegis for another 2.5 minutes. And Avulus will be playing against Mega Creeps.
TP back, refresh, go for your Tormentor. Feels really easy, and when you kill that Tormentor, it does drop the shard. But if you're being a good chat member, you might get a community drop. Lich, a hero in the game, got Legion Arcana.
Legion Commander, yeah, he got that Arcana. Congratulations to him.
Good Arcana to get.
Not the most popular hero right now. We barely see it, but who knows? New patch drops, suddenly Legion Commander becomes top tier pick.
If you're not having any luck in the Candy Works shop, then you can be a good chat member and get a community drop. Get an Arcana, probably better than the 20 Pugna sets that you redeemed in the Candy Works shop.
The BZZ Pugna golden set. I got like 60 of them.
If I got the golden one, I'd be happy. Getting the regular one. Smiling Knight back alive. One more tier 4 is up for Avulus, but that's all they've got. Mega Creeps coming into the base, and the side of Talon looking to invade. Tough spot for Avulus, but they've shown they can get something. If it all comes together, maybe they can get everything with a good vacuum wall and multiple heroes. But they need the follow-up stuns bad.
Yeah, the problem is, again, like they need some 3-man vacuum wall
into like an Earth Spike.
Yeah, that's the play.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're not winning the fight.
Nope. Definitely really tough for them. Swift Blink next for Tiny.
It's being delivered right now. 4.5k HP Tiny. With 30 plus armor.
Oh, God. How do you kill this?
I don't think you do. That's the easy answer.
They use dynamite to make Mount Rushmore, but I don't even know if dynamite would break through Tiny.
Only techies would be able to blow him up.
Well, it's not looking likely, but Got to give it a shot in the elimination game. Lotus Orb. They've got the Hex. Stormstormer going to slight a fist and try and survive a little bit longer. Going after this, Natsumi Tiny.
Be cursed.
Tiny, he's got Aegis.
dying.
He's got Aegis for 30
That's
seconds. That's one kill. Can they do it again, though? Vacuum Wall might be needed. They got the Earth Spike. 4-staff back. That's the Nullifier thrown over from the Dragon Knight onto the Tiny. They've got some damage onto him, but there's the Cluster Cloak that's going to be used out of the Tiny. They go to the Supernova. That egg will pop. Stormstormer with the Lotus Orb on him feels a little bit confident to move forward, but he doesn't have a lot of health left. Natsumi going in with the BKB. Smiling Knight, half health left, has to back up for a moment, but now the BKB, the Nullifier's out. The toss up into the air. Seneko and Eki are dead. They're both by back. Hex on to WS from his own Shadow Shaman. So getting helped out, but there's the Earth Spike starting to drain some mana, but it's not going to be enough. Only vacuum out of one by the 4-staff on the low ground. Jibbe, he's dead to the double chakram coming out from this Timber Saw. LSA up into the air once again. Smiling Knight going to be hit by that Laguna Blade. They'll get the kill on a Smiling Knight. He's forced to buy back as well, as just the throne is there for the side of Avulus. And that's all that's between them and elimination.
3 buybacks on side of Avulus. They need to be able to get something done right now, but the problem is Dragon Knight does not have the Dragon form. There is no Supernova, and Jibbe is dead for 40 seconds without buy.
Really needs to come back. Even when he's back in 40 seconds, that'll be Wall on cooldown for another 30, which he used to try and get Pugna, but they'll go over. They use the Laguna Blade. Smiling Knight's dead for 100 seconds. Maybe they kill Natsumi, but it is not looking likely. They've got the shackles on a Stormstormer who's forced to retreat, but he shows up back into the face of Talon. They get that kill into the Ember. They'll call GG, and Talon eliminate Avulus, and they go on to the playoffs.
Yeah, this is the team. Look at the big smiles on their faces for a good reason. Keeping their dream alive, getting that top 8 for now, but yeah, still a long way for them to go, because this team has a lot to offer, especially when we talk about them getting a really good draft. And I really love that Natsumi, who got completely dumpstered in the first game, manages to have a great game on Lifestealer in the second game, in the third game on Tiny, making 2 good rotations, killing Smiling Knight. It was him and Joe Camp being paired up together, going for these easy kills, and also they, every single time where Stormstormer goes for an extra creep wave, he was getting caught by Shaman and Tiny.
Yeah, and Talon proving that they are a force to be reckoned with going into the top 8. Avulus showing up just a bit short in getting into the playoffs, but it was both these teams that we felt as though needed to prove themselves, and I don't think it's anything to be too upset about if you're Avulus. It's a tough road to get into the playoffs in this Swiss stage, but Talon are a good team.
Yeah, they had some good performances on Avulus, but today, Talon were a better team. It seems like they were a better prepared team when it came down